hedge is a just-in-case something that usually moves in opposition to the market or isn't subject to wild fluctuations. Hedging is considered a part of a diversified portfolio because it can potentially help minimize losses if the market takes big swings in reaction to events like inflation. Inflation is not a good thing, and I will talk about it in a little bit. There are a number of assets that are often touted as good bets against inflation. These assets include stocks, bonds, precious metals like gold and silver, and real estate, and a few other things. In this video, I will talk about real estate as being a good hedge against inflation. So what are the reasons why real estate can be used as a hedge? Let's talk about the effect of inflation on debts. First and foremost, in order to understand this concept, we have to agree that inflation is a loss of purchasing power of our money. For example, an ice cream cup can cost you $5 at present time, but you may remember it used to cost you $2 10 years ago. The increased cost of the ice cream is a loss of value of your money, where purchasing power of your money is less and less over time, and you will need more money to make the same purchase. Another example of inflation that's easy for people to see is the cost it takes to buy the same thing at the grocery store. As prices keep increasing, you will need more money to buy the same items, or you will have to buy less. This is called inflation or loss of purchasing power of your money. Okay, so what does inflation have anything to do with debts? Similar concept with the money spent on ice cream and groceries. For example, you took out a loan of $100,000 to buy a house 20 years ago. As inflation robs your money of its purchasing power, it also causes the price of your house to rise over time, just like the ice cream price increase. The rise in home price means rise in equity, means rise in value, and as a result, it will lower the loan to value of the mortgage debt, acting as a natural discount for the property. But take notice of this, even though the equity on the property increases, your fixed rate mortgage payments remain the same for the entire term of the loan. The second reason why real estate can be used as a hedge against inflation is when it generates income for the owners or the investors. This is why you cannot hedge your money against inflation on ice cream and groceries. Because ice cream and groceries, once in, they're gone forever. With real estate, you can rent it out over and over again to create a source of income. This benefits real estate owners tremendously. Think of it like having a cash cow. The third reason real estate can be a good hedge against inflation is because property values over time tend to rise. Most of the homes that hit rock bottom when the real estate bubble burst in 2007 were back to their pre-crash prices in less than a decade. As you can see on Fed economic data, housing prices in California are currently way above its previous peak of 2006, and the 2012 housing bottom was above its previous 1990 peak. Real estate investment can also provide potential recurring income for investors like short-term and long-term passive rental incomes, and can keep pace or exceed inflation in terms of appreciation in value. Remember, hedging is trying to make up for the loss of monetary value your money is losing. We have gone over why real estate is a good hedge against inflation. Now we will go over how we can use it as a hedge. One way to use real estate to hedge against inflation is to invest in a residential multifamily property. Why residential multifamily property, you may ask? The answer is unlike commercial properties like retail shops or restaurants, which usually have multi-year business leases, where the rents don't change frequently. Residential individual rental units usually renew leases every year. And the more units a building has, the more frequently you're presented with the opportunities to adjust rent. Okay, so you might be thinking, what about apartment complexes? Apartment complexes are similar to residential multifamily properties, but on steroids. They are almost always in demand, especially when housing prices go up. And there is a relatively high turnover rate for these apartments. High turnover rates of tenants leaving can be a headache for landlords to manage. However, it presents an opportunity to adjust rent rates for new renters. This can potentially increase landlords' income. Another factor that benefits apartment owners is the limited supply of buildings and new development projects out there. plus a frequent increase in labor, material costs, and land costs, making it very hard to develop new development projects. These factors all contribute to the increasing demand for these apartments, making it a highly desirable asset. As a result, apartment complexes make a wonderful hedge against inflation. To summarize everything that I just talked about, owning real estate is a great hedge against inflation because it can generate incomes. Properties over time tend to go up in value. And lastly, over time, property mortgages value become less due to inflation. To watch my other video on tips for home buyers, look for the link in the description. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care and bye now.